Welcome back, everybody, all my adventurers out there. So we're gonna try another Brick in the Mall. I've played this game before and I really like it. Has a lot of interesting features. So let's get to it. Instead of playing an actual game of just kind of a standard game or a sandbox mode, we're actually gonna go with a scenario, the abandoned mall scenario. I've liked this one. It seems to kind of help new players kind of understand the workings of how everything works, because you don't have to try to use your own imagination and build it from the ground up. You already have a pretty good base going on. So let's get going. So, the abandoned mall. Grab your hazmat suit. You've been tasked with reviving an abandoned mall overtaken by rats and vegetation. The only business still open is Lance and Walter's, a bar whose clientele seemed unfazed by the nasty rodents. First things first, we need to stop the rat infestation from spreading any further. Open at least 4 maintenance centers, preferably close to where the rats are spawning, and hire a small army of builders and janitors. Builders will get rid of the rats and janitors will clean the dirt. Let's get to work. Okay. So, we're just going to we'll just keep it on, just play normal mode right now. So, this is our mall. We already have all the parking set up. We have little places for all sorts of shops. A lot of these places already have stuff in it, so you'll see that this one has, let's see, women's shoes down here. You'll see the description. It's a shelf. It has women's shoes. You can just click off. And all these guys are the little rats. So, let's see if we can get some people in here, because you can see that there's some rats by my only thing that's open in this entire mall. The one thing that held in there is my bar. So you'll see this guy. Let's see if he actually reacts to the rats. So you can see his face kind of got a little green. He's not happy, and he ran to the second one and said, "Nope, I'm out of here. I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna nope." So that's why we have to get rid of these rats. You can also see there are people coming in kind of from all directions, and I don't know why they believe that the shortest path is through this way, through the rat infestation, through this wall, to get all the way over here. I'm guessing they're probably going to like the bus stop or something. Like, I don't know why they're over here to begin with. But you can see there's entrances all over this place. So they're going to be coming in from all over. Our main goal is to get rid of the rats. So we're going to go to assign. We are going to, sorry, let's get back up here. Go to a maintenance center. I like to throw the maintenance centers kind of like in my little storage area, because it just makes them out of the way. And it doesn't necessarily matter how big I have this maintenance center, because I can assign anyone to it. So, when I hit my Manage tab, it'll show me all the buildings, or I should say stores or zones, if you will, that I am responsible for, and their name. So the way that this game kind of keeps order with everything is that it'll call whatever new thing it is, whether it's a store, whether it's storage, whether it's a restroom. It'll have that as the title, and then it'll have a parentheses and then a number, and it'll just keep counting up no matter what you do. So it'll say like Maintenance Center 1, Store 2, Storage 3, Bar 4, and it'll keep doing that over and over again until you go insane because you have no idea what everything is. So, first we need to let's get some staff on board. Let's get this rat thing out of here. So I like to rename this stuff. We're going to name it Maintenance Center Lance. Oops, let's capitalize that. Lance and Walter. There we go. Keep it short so we can figure out what it is later. That way I know that this maintenance center is in this storage. We're good to go. So we're going to assign some staff. So up here at the top, you're going to kind of see some things fluctuate. We're going to have the people who actually are coming into our place of work, which are, the number and then how happy they are. So currently they say that they are really dissatisfied with the squalor that's this place. So all these footprints, these rats, if we had trash bags anywhere, that type of stuff would lead to that squalor factor. This is how much parking we have versus how much is being used, how much sales we're actually doing, how much money we're making in real time. So it'll show us yesterday's profit and then today's profit in real time. So currently we're losing a lot of money, how much debt we're in, and then how much cash we have on hand. This, in this scenario, can get down pretty low. I know from first-hand experience. But once you get this kind of turned around, peaks right back up again. So, as this is our only place of business, let's get this taken care of. So we're going to hire a builder. This is kind of your job pool. So anybody you try to hire for a job is going to come out of this job pool. Now you'll see beside each single person that they have different experience levels in different areas that they can work, whether that be a cashier, stock clerk, janitor, cook, builder, office worker, waitering, or security. But each person also has their own set of stats. Their stats consist of speed, patience, and social abilities. So speed, how fast they get something done. Patience, how well people are going to wait in the queue for them. So like cashiers, wait people, that type of deal. That you're going to want to have people with a lot of patience. And then sociability, how well they talk to people and cheer them up. So you might want that for also wait staff, cashiers, possibly stock clerks if they're going to be kind of around a lot of people. That should be it. Oh, and then probably for office worker, because you don't want like a person with really low sociability as an office worker, as they're going to just bring the mood of everybody down. So we are going to be hiring some builders. So this guy has lots of speed. Builder, I don't necessarily care about patience and sociability because you shouldn't really be talking to anybody and there'll be nobody in a queue. So we're going to hire them. We're going to hire them. I'm pretty much going to go around and hire anybody that has a lot of building experience. The more experience they have in a job, the faster that they're going to do that job. So we're just going to hire a ton of these people. Sure. See, they have really high sociability, so maybe I want to wait. Maybe I don't want to hire this person as a builder. But this person has really awful speed. I really don't want them anywhere. Honestly, if you have really awful speed, this person is like the trifecta. I try to leave those people for like cashier jobs. That's really nice. Those are like the golden unicorns. Not as rare, but they're nice. Alright. Janitors. We also have to hire some janitors. The janitors are going to be the ones that clean the footprints. They take out the trash. And they essentially make everything nice and squeaky clean. So janitors are very similar to builders in who you kind of want to look for. So someone with just a lot of speed, you don't necessarily need a lot of patience or sociability. So you're going to be a janitor, and you don't have to hire people with the most experience of that thing. Maybe you might think that they might be a good office worker, but they're really good at cashiering, for instance. Well, then maybe that's what you hire them for. But anytime you go to hire someone, this is the job pool that you will be taking from. So you kind of want to prioritize who has what job and what you're hiring for. So usually I try to get people like with a lot of speed, like you're going to be a janitor, but not a lot of patience also in sociability, as either stock people, janitors, maybe cooks, or like builders, people who don't have to necessarily interact with one another. Anybody who has to interact with someone, I definitely, like, this person has a lot of sociability but very little patience, but maybe they're probably a good cashier, maybe stock person. Probably actually a really good stock person because there'll be no queue. So nobody to be waited on, therefore. Let's see, who else has really... you can be a janitor too. I really want to get this person and this person out of my hair, because that's just not going to be good. Alright, so then you're going to want to go to shift planning. So you're going to see happy faces, and then a lot of times you're going to see grumpy faces. So you can pretty much work these guys a really long time before they start complaining. So quite a bit of hours. And I just like to stagger everybody. So they usually have grumpy faces. I always have my wage set as automatic. That way I don't have to try to sit there and try to figure out everybody's wages. But if you want, you can have it set as manual. So right down here, manual. I just always have auto salary. They have manual. It all depends. And then this little bar is pretty much telling you how much experience that person has until they get to the next pay jump. So I think they go up $1 every time they fill up their experience bar. And of course you just want to keep everybody a little bit happy. And they can go into the night. And this is generally how I just kind of set everybody up. That way we can get this problem over with. So down here you're going to see this line kind of go up and down, up and down, up and down. This is how much workforce I have at any given hour. So these hour lines align with this table down here. And you'll see why that's a little bit more important later when we go and hire more waiters for the Lance and Warrens building. Alright, so now these guys are janitors, and each job will kind of have a different color to it. So in this case, because this is the maintenance center, the builders have orange and the janitors have blue. That's the colors that they will always be. But when we go and hire some more people for Lance and Warrens, different type of work is going to be orange and different type of work is going to be blue. So, alright, so we got some overlap in the janitors. We have overlap all sorts of places in builders, so that's great. Oh, and then this graph changes. So be aware of what your top and bottom number are. So you can see I'm going along, okay, it dips there, spikes there, we go up here. So at the max, I have 11 people on shift at any one time. Now at the minimum though, this isn't 0, this is 6. So at the minimum, I have 6 people on at any given point. That includes stock people, that includes, so anybody who is in this shift planning, it includes them. So in this case, janitors and builders, and maybe in other places it's stock clerks, cashiers, waiters, who knows. Depends on which store you're managing. Okay, so that one should be good. You will also want to note, people do not come in until the next day. So they'll have to hit that midnight mark before they come in for their shift. So this person, before they come in for the start of their shift. So this person will come in 22 hours. And actually they will all come in 22 hours. So it all depends on kind of like when you hire them will be when they kind of start their shift. So everybody's good there. Alright, so we're gonna let that roll. Lance and Walter. So let's look at the shift planning for these guys. So looks like we have 2 cashiers, 2 stock people, and a waiter. And we are open every hour except 1, which is apparently 5 a.m. because, you know, we really need to start drinking at 6 a.m. So here's some bars that you're going to want to look out for. This is your opening hour. It's in military time. So this is 6 a.m. This is your how many hours you're going to stay open, your duration. So this happens to close at 5. But if you were to move this bar, you see that this red bar right here, and this time here changes. So that's because it's still going to keep that 23-hour mark, but because your opening hour changes, it shifts that closing hour. So red is closed, green is open. The yellow line is going to be your workforce, and then the orange line is your sales. So I'm really dead at that, 6 a.m. mark. Randomly, nobody wants to go drinking at 6 a.m. and I don't start peaking until probably like 9. And then I really peak at noon, and then I come down slowly until we hit this area. But I'm going to let this run for a little bit. In fact, I'm probably going to grab a couple more cashiers and a couple more wait staff, because once we get this taken care of, this business is going to really start booming. The only reason we don't have as much business is because we have all these rats. So I'm actually going to speed this up a little bit because I can't stand how slow this game is. That's like the one thing. Like the default is just so slow to me. But there are definitely times when I do appreciate it. So we're going to hire some cashiers. Let's hire you as a cashier. You as a cashier because you're the trifecta. And I'm going to hire you as a stock person. So your speed sucks, but you have really high patience. So you're going to be really slow, but people aren't going to be nearly as bothered as much that you're slow, but you really aren't going to cheer them up too much either. You need to be, I don't know. I don't even know what you need to be. Patience, speed, so maybe we'll hire you too. If you happen to hire someone, so I think one of these I actually should have hired as a stock person. You can actually transfer them. So I want to transfer them as a stock person right there. And then you will see, I believe it was her, yep, that she is now a stock clerk. So, it's as simple as that. Oh, we should also hire a waiter. So they should also be speedy, but not necessarily need a great... you would be really good. And maybe you. Oh, so there's our first builder. Let's hit the select button. So now they're going to go to town trying to get those rats out of the way. So the longer that the rats stay there, the harder it is for the builders to get rid of them. So you see how there's a couple of these that go away really quick, and then the others another time when it just takes a while for them to get rid of them. That's because that's kind of like the spawn point of these rats. And then once we get a janitor, and they'll start cleaning up this mess, which is where a lot of these rats are spawning from. Anytime you have footprints or garbage laying around, so like here where we have garbage laying around, that's going to attract the rats. And you're never going to get rid of them out of that area until you can get enough janitors in here to clean all that. So now we still have technically squalor, because see, we have rats came back, but they're not automatically driven away by the rats anymore, so we're getting more and more customers. Alright, now we're also going to build some foundations. Be aware, anytime that you want to build something, that's going to take, shock and awe, one of your builders. So just be aware that anytime that you are trying to build something, it's going to affect what your builders are doing. So if you're going to be building a lot, you're probably not going to be getting rid of a lot of rats. That's just kind of how that works. So there's this little caution sign up here saying, hey, you're not making any research progress. And I say that's perfectly fine, because look at all the stuff that we already have unlocked in this scenario. The only things we don't are the fitness center and then the underground parking, and that's a-okay. At least for right now. So I'm also probably going to open up... I want to get rid of these rats before I open that up. So you see, but you know what? We're going to hire a couple more janitors, because I think I didn't hire nearly enough. So we're going to hire... Does anybody not have... So maybe... you... Ugh. I'll keep you as a really bad cashier or something. You... Yep, let's try that. Shift planning, so everybody comes in at the same hour. We're going to bump these guys up. Actually, I'm going to start off kind of really heavy in the morning and then not so heavy during the night. We're going to let this person kind of clean up during the night until these people come in. So there we go. So now I have 7 as a minimum, it's 14 as a max. Works out well. Alright, and as far as I can tell, the builders and janitors don't really use the maintenance center zone for anything other than just figuring out where they should go next. They'll kind of spread out from the center of their maintenance zone. Alright, I'm going to leave it here.